Hello and welcome to our mini lesson on number lines. If it seems like I'm whispering, it's because my kids are sleeping in the next room and I don't want to wake them up. So I'm just going to try and be kind of quiet. But you can yell as loudly as you'd like, especially if your parents are sleeping. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Never tell your parents I told you it was okay to yell. Okay. We're going to be looking at number lines today. It's going to be a pretty short mini lesson. And first thing I'm going to do is look at what a number line is. What a number line is it's a way for us to represent numbers in a way that we can actually look at them. Okay? And I think it's really helpful to have a number line because we can look at it and go, okay, where is 1? Well, if 0 is here, 1 is here. Okay, so 1 is more than 0, so we'd move to the right. Some numbers are less than 0, and we'd move to the left. And it helps us kind of see that negative numbers and positive numbers, they kind of work the same way. And there are some things that are constant about them. They're about the same space apart. You know, they reduce by 1 each time. And it just shows us different things about numbers. I really like number lines for a lot of reasons. We can use a number line. First off, the very first thing I'd like to do is to show you what a number line, we have points on a number line basically. And if you get a point like this on a number line and they circle that point, that is equal to what? It's equal to -4. Okay, that's this point. This point here is equal to 1, this point is 2. The numbers aren't exactly on, but this one here is -8. Okay, so if you're shown a point on a number line, it's equal to the number that it's right next to. Alright? If you're not shown every number, like you're shown 2 and 4 and 6 perhaps, okay, and they show a dot in between, it'd be between -2 and -4 is -3. Okay? This is how a number line works. If you see a dot, it's the number that's right next to it. Okay. One of the ways that we can use a number line is to show the difference between two numbers. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but if you're asked what's the difference between two numbers, what you're asked is subtraction. Okay, we did this in when we did our lesson about translating words into equations. What's the difference between two numbers is subtraction. Okay, so we can represent subtraction or look at subtraction on this number line. Okay, what's the difference between 1 and -5? Okay, the difference between 1 and -5, that's like saying 1 minus -5. Okay, and when we say 1 minus -5, there's two negatives, so it becomes a positive. So it's like saying 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. Now I'm going to bet that the difference between 1 and -5 is 6. Well, let's go ahead and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can represent subtraction on a number line, okay, by checking the difference between these two numbers. So that's another use for a number line. Instead of having to write it out, we can just represent it like this, okay, show the difference between the two. We can also show which point is greater. Okay, the point that is greater is the point that's the farther to the right. Okay, the farther to the right you get, the higher the numbers are, and the farther to the left you go, the smaller the numbers get. Okay, so between these two, which is the greater value? 0 or -4? It's 0. 0 is actually bigger than -4, okay? And so the point here that's farther to the right is the larger of the 2 points, okay? Those are some basic ways that we use number lines, okay? The next thing I'd like to go over is these symbols you see up here. What are these symbols? These little half triangle things on their side with only two edges and then this. What are these? This one here is the greater than sign. And this one here is the less than sign. And this is our equal to sign. Okay? The way that we would use this is like this. We would say 6 is greater than 2. Right? Or 2 is less than 6. And 6 is equal to 6. Alright. So, you'll notice we switched the order here. This is the greater than sign, so we say 6 is greater than 2. This is the less than sign, so it would be 2 is less than 6. And this is the equal to, so we'd say 6 is equal to 6. Now, how is it that you remember them? There are lots of different ways to remember them. I've seen some pretty funny things that people do. Some people say 6 is greater than 2. Right, and they say, well, that's just like saying, here, I'm not the world's greatest artist, but I can sort of get what's going on here. Right, there's a big fish, and it wants to eat the larger of the two numbers. Okay, so it would want to eat 6 because 6 is larger than 2, and so you see that the mouth being open in that direction is towards the larger of the two. And of course, this works the opposite direction as well too. Is less than 6. So again, the fish here is going after the larger of the two. Okay, and that way, I guess, works. I was taught that in like elementary school, and that's fine. And if that's the way you remember it still, that's great. If you look at the symbol, one edge of it is larger, the other end of it is smaller. Okay, that's probably the reason why they do this symbol. The larger of the two is the open end, and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until this point. Okay, it's pointing at the smaller number, the larger number on the side. Whatever way that you want to remember it is fine. An equal to sign, usually people remember that one. Okay. But if you want to use this to remember it, great. If you find a different way to remember it, that's fine too. I usually just think of it as the larger side of the, like this side is bigger because it's open, then it's going to be pointing towards the bigger number. This end is smaller because it's kind of at a point, so that's going to be at the smaller number. Okay, so that's what those signs are. I hope that this has been helpful, and good luck on your test today. And I almost forgot that we are going to be having a test review. So make sure to read the weekly announcements and attend the test review. I'm going to post a recording for it, but I want to make sure that I mention it in here that we are going to have a test review, and it's going to have questions that are similar to the questions that are on the test. So make sure to attend the live session, and if you can't, it doesn't fit your schedule, make sure to watch the recording. Have a wonderful day.